lineups out of the two, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty heavy with the dive coming sort of from both teams. You're missing the Tracer on the Machi side, which might hurt them damage-wise a little bit. They're going to be running that triple tank. The Flash Wolves, on the other hand, triple DPS, pretty expected. A lot of teams are kind of moving into the sort of composition now, but K-Momo on the Soldier, I don't think I've seen that before, and that's going to be an interesting pick for them.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. And actually it was Machi getting the first pick onto Flash Wolves, which really kind of opened this up. And now Bacon Jack going ahead and swinging back. This is not at all unsurprising. Kind of, you know, pulling the weight like we so often see.
Machi did actually get the first cap, though. Look,
they did, because of a good opening skirmish. But I mean, that is a really convincing strike back by Flash Wolves. And that's Machi with two ultimates they couldn't use because Bacon Jack was so quick on him. Now a dive. They're going to try and keep this one alive. They should be able to keep this one going. Bacon Jack, if he can keep himself alive, they should be fine, and they're really just waiting for the pick. They've got the damage, like you said. The longer the fight goes on for, the better they will naturally do, just because of their sheer output, provided they aren't getting picked, and that's not what's happening here. So here now comes the cleanup from Flash Wolves, and wow, big round of kills right towards the end there, and not too unexpected, but
the area control. Kind of feel like that really works in Machi's favor that they force the Transcendence out. That may or may not have been really required to use, but this is now Machi again trying to fight for that control. And K-Momo's on the side. They are picking up the kills this time.
Opening it up, yeah, and there was a good pick to start with, known as taking out Bacon Jack, as now he's opening up on the rest of the team. And because of how Flash Wolves have to position because of their team comp, they actually did leave the point kind of exposed. Machi took great advantage of that, and now they're
to wait out the sound barrier, then they can go high, they can go completely ham with all the DPS ultimates.
Here
comes Zonda.
Very early sound barrier forced out, actually, and Zonda really just opening this one up. I mean, even going down there, he's already done the groundwork, and the trade back doesn't really mean much when most of the team is dead. Ken actually got bumped out of that mech really early in that fight and was able to get back in it, so going back out again and then dying means he gave up a ton of ult charge to Flash Wolves while also losing the fight.
And when you pop sound barrier that quickly before the other team has actually committed any ultimates, the other team doesn't have to commit onto you at all. The other team doesn't have to take that engagement. They just have to wait. They just have to wait for the sound barrier to finish. That's exactly what Flash Wolves did. Then they turn on the heat, they use the ultimates, and now they're in control again. Graviton Surge is the big weapon for Machi that they have to get a lot done here.
Good job actually getting the nano boost out before going down, but honestly on DCR1 it's not really doing enough. He does get another one off to the side. K-Momo kind of struck back quite nicely. They don't really have the rest to follow this up. Simply going to throw out the Transcendence though, and with Jongi running the ultimate out as well, they should be able to start cleaning it up just for sheer mileage. If Bacon Jack gets something with his pulse bomb, yes he does. Kiyomi down a second time, so no heals later on in this one. Bacon Jack now handily cleaning this up. Yeah. No Primal Rage available for him just yet. And that's going to be that for the first one. Flash Wolves looking pretty solid.
That's important to note because
kind of copied Flash Wolves in a way.
It is the exact lineup they're copying, yeah.
Here we go. Well, we'll have to see how the opening skirmish goes again because this time there is the trade back from Flash Wolves as they take out Cat. Now No-Talk as well. It's more than a trade back. This is actually kind of even here. One more for Machi and actually Bacon Jack off the edge there going down means that's going to be that match. You do actually kind of barely get the secure, but both teams are kind of going to come back full force for the second fight now.
Nunez was the one that played 62%. This is a lot.
That was a good pick on Kanto to start it off. He's just respawned now, so he will be able to come back into this fight, but the Flash Wolves can clean up quick smart, which they're trying to do with this Dragon Blade. Sound Barrier negating it quite well, though, is Nunez.
Whoa, Nunez down!
Oh, but Zonda right at the last second of that one catches Nunez at the top second of his. Nice moves there. Now Bacon Jack kind of bringing the heat back again. Does unfortunately go down to Kanji, was able to get back in the fight, and actually that might be all the mileage they need. Zonda's kind of on the ropes and on the run, and Jongi, the ultimate has run out already. Sinclair, he's got a Transcendence in a moment, but that might not be enough if there isn't enough team to kind of heal up on the point with it. Now they're making the rush for it. Jongi, they're trying to get DCR1 down, who is going to buy some time for his team by ulting. Now they're going to throw out the Transcendence, looking pretty solid, well set up.
I really like
picking up DCR1. I don't think it was necessary, but a secure is a secure, and at 99%, I think they can count themselves happy.
I think Zonda was the big turnaround in that previous fight. They're still getting kills. This is good. He killed Nunez during Nunez's Dragon Blade. That allows Zonda to get the full conversion on the rest of the kills onto Machi.
Unfortunately for Bacon Jack, threw out the pulse bomb, didn't get anything, went down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge winner for Machi, and they just open it even wider now. They can't even get the kill on Kiyomi here. Nunez starting to clean up now. The point is wide open for Machi to come in with a cap of their own. If Flash Wolves aren't careful, there they are set up on the point. DCR1 going to stop any follow-up here. The Flash Wolves try and cut off the retreat as well. Stop anyone from contesting the point. With the overtime ticking down, Machi, they should be just set up enough to hold this one out, and there's something crazy comes out from Bacon Jack here.
So many of these fights has been determined by Genji's losing the ultimate straight at the top of the fight. Now look, the Transcendence is still available for Flash Wolves. This could be entirely different. I don't want to write them off just yet. but, well, it's actually going 50-50 here.
Yeah.
The team could still take this, and I think Flash
A couple of
coming
key
out ahead.
picks, actually, for Flash Wolves. Machi, they were set up on the point. Flash Wolves, though, in losing the fight where Machi capped the point, were able to get a couple of kills on the back end. So Machi didn't actually have themselves set up on the point. That's a big opening. Oh, K-Momo going down at the top with the Tac Visor open means that is a huge resource not there for them. And it's going to force out a transcendence from No Talk here as they try and get themselves set up. Nice boot by Realman,
kills already.
but it's probably not enough. Yeah, as Flash Wolves as good as wiped here. K-Momo only just respawning. Overtime going to tick down pretty quick smart. Zonda can maybe get a toe on it to contest it, but no such luck. And Machi strike on back.
They don't want to keep the triple DPS any longer.
Bacon Jack sights train on Restia, pays off for him, and that could be the pick to open the fight out. Provided Bacon Jack doesn't go down, he's going to be well safe as they pick off Kant as well. And Nunez does not have the aerial superiority here, doesn't really have the dominance to keep the rest of the team from dying. And good play by Flash Wolves, just basically ignoring the Pharah, killing everyone else instead.
That's fine. I mean, there's been any more additional ults, and now here comes the Nano Boost.
Ooh. They do pick off Sinclair, but yeah, the Nano Boost is Zonda is hunting for something with the Dragon Blade, but he can't really find anything. Nothing's in range. And that's a better sound barrier now here out of Realman to keep things going. And Restia as well, but he is still the team on the back foot, waiting for Kiyomi's raise. But even as it comes up, the team is going to kind of respawn. Nunez gets picked off, and even then, that's an awkward time to raise. They may just have to try and brute force this one or cede it to Flash Wolves. And Flash Wolves with a few ultimates in the bag are happy to drag it out. There's the raise out now. Flash Wolves can commit the rest of their resource. Open it up with a pulse bomb on Kiyomi. Now Restia sure to go down here. A couple of shots away. Actually going to be able to back off. Known as not enough mileage from the rocket barrage. And again, Flash Wolves well set to hold on to this fight.
The fight's not quite over yet. I feel like Flash Wolves committed ultimates a little bit too late there in Machi. They got their respawners back out. So the effect of the ultimates Flash Wolves did end up committing, it's kind of just being worn off now. Machi have the superior spawns. Their reinforcements are getting to the point way quicker.
They do and they don't. They kind of are because of Nunez, but he gets to a point where, I mean, he can only shoot onto the point. He can't really be on the point. They are still going to ultimate spin. Again, Bacon Jack looking to get the damage done, looking to do the mileage for his team. Going to throw out the Nano Boost on him as well, in fact, but he's kind of struggling to find the targets. No Talk, really struggling to see which direction, though, he should be blocking. That's a good couple of picks. Quick headshots there to secure another onto Ken, and that's going to tip the balance in this one. Nunez the only one alive, and yeah, there we go, right at the end there.
Now Flash Wolves just maintaining control now. 85% means you're in a decent position, especially with the Nano Blade. Sorry, well, not the Nano Blade, but the Dragon Blade coming up with Zonda, Machi. They will commit every single ult back in this fight. Now, a key player, Kiyomi, he has to stay alive. They have to get this res, and it's going to come out soon.
That's big, yeah. They have to not use too many ultimates before the res, though. It's going to come out any second now, surely. And they've already committed 3 of their ultimates. This is Jongi just opening up with his. He is going to get Kiyomi off the edge. That's a useful one to start it off, and good sound barrier out of Realman to keep it alive. They're getting the rest out. They need to be careful of Nunez, but he can't do enough as on his own. Sorry, getting blocked out there by K-Momo, and that's going to be a really nice secure out by Flash Wolves. They did use a few mini resources at the top of that before the res, but it paid off. It wasn't too risky. They still had the skill to close out the rest of the kills after the fact, and that is 2-1 to Flash Wolves. They're looking a little bit more solid just with this 2-2-2 here. Flash Wolves not quite wanting to go the triple DPS route. It's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can't just get a good pick back. That's 2 teams. Flash Wolves with the positional advantage to get on this point, even if Nunez gets something crazy here. In fact, he needs to be careful to not go too deep. He's kind of isolated.
Oh, wow.
Wow, he goes deep for it, and he actually gets to pay off as well. Just barely had enough fire support from Kiyomi, and out of nowhere, Machi just kind of swing back, and as it turns out, Nunez was doing the exact right thing.
Flash Wolves really needed to clean that kill up on the Nunez. If they had been able to kill the Genji, then maybe they swap on the commit, or they need to be using ultimates here.
That's maybe a bit of an overcommit actually out of Restia. I mean, it was really only Bacon Jack on the point, and now he's going to try and just do the mileage himself. He's bought the team enough time to get on the point, and maybe this is the moment they do commit the ultimates because they're well set up. Machi didn't really respect the flank, didn't really respect how quick some of those respawns would come in. Had a very awkwardly timed sound barrier, and now they're getting turned around upon. It's a big open out of Nunez, but he's already down. Yeah, he was already down few too many members, so they kind of gave that one over to Flash Wolves.
The reason that duel is important is whichever Genji actually wins that duel has the opportunity to snowball for the rest of the team. Here comes the sound barrier now for Machi. They want to hold on to this one, but this has been a very, very long fight now.
That was again very early, and now Realman's fine getting a lot more mileage as Kiyomi does not have the extra health now to keep himself alive. Nunez, nothing with the Dragon Blade. That is so unfortunate. Another Genji duel falling the way of Flash Wolves, who are again well set up here. They did lose the point over,
they need
but they are
cap,
ahead in this point. Yeah, they're ahead in the fight, and they should be able to cap in a moment, but actually Machi might just be able to stretch this to 99%. That's really the best they can get out of a bad situation.
That's an incredibly good result, actually, to be able to stretch it all the way to 99, forcing Flash Wolves onto the back foot here. They get the recap.
Not
But
many
Machi
help,
are still somewhat ahead. They just have to get a good opening here. They got a couple of ultimates they can sort of rely on. But any opening they get should fall in the way of Machi, and that might just be enough to secure them the game.
They need to be very smart with how they commit the ultimates, but here's going to be a very early nano boost.
I'll take that trade.
Out onto the Winstons. Yeah, you would take that trade indeed. But the trades back are what's important, as Flash Wolves now absolutely swinging back, and the few ultimates they have here, only DCR1 left with this. He's going to have to use it on the point just to buy time, but
Flash
if he goes down, yeah, Flash Wolves, they've almost certainly got this secured, unless they close out so slowly that Machi get like a full-on regroup, but it's not going to happen. The pick on DCR1 means now Machi are going to be trickling onto this point, looking for their last-ditch effort, but it's not going to happen as the overtime runs on out, and Flash Wolves will secure 3-1.
Well, Machi actually got the opening pick. Particularly not on your superstar hit scans either. I don't know. I'm really curious to see if they're going to get enough mileage out of this, but if they kill DCR1, this is going to open up the fight in their favor a big way.
There you have it. We see that so often with DCR1, and now they're going to open it up on the rest of them. No talk. He kind of has to go into full retreat here. Zonda well set up on the point. That is one dead Lucio. That was almost brutal. Like they just threw everything right at the ground, right where he was. But that is a nice and handy point cap for Flash Wolves. Hook is really going to stop Flash Wolves from getting too much.
He's looking for the grab.
This is well positioned if he can get a good one. Yeah, he's going to catch a few. Gets put to sleep, but the rest of the team can still follow up, and follow up they will do, opening up nicely there. Jongi caught in the Earth Shatter. That's kind of all they had though. Unfortunately, that Tranquility not in time to save it, is Singler getting picked off as well by No Talk, and they're a little bit scattered here. Flash Wolves, they're trying to keep this one going, but DCR1 surviving that one means that they couldn't actually close out anything. Nona is going to commit attack visor. I don't know if that was necessary, but it is a hold for Machi.
Flash Wolves is...
As he's got the attack visor on, he's just trying to keep the bullets pumping for now as they're making some space for themselves. No talk out of the mech. Counter's going to be able to respawn and come back to this team any second now. That is a big Earth Shatter. That is nasty, nasty if you're a Flash Wolves fan. Absolutely destroyed their DCR1. Nice placement.
Flash Wolves lying on the floor is pretty much exactly how I feel about their performance so far. Machi buy themselves a lot of time. If Flash Wolves, they lose time. That's a graviton surge.
And they're all behind him. They're opening up now with this Nanovisor combo, but actually there's not many members to kill here. Flash Wolves just catching the rest of Machi because they kind of split themselves up to get this positioning. Maybe trying to be a little bit too clever, in fact. There's K-Momo cleaning up quite nicely, and Flash Wolves at last hit the payload underway.
None's had a little bit of a K4 moment there where it was like, please come
out. Restia, the sound barrier already gone. Kant a little bit low, getting finally picked off. Realman doesn't have his own, and they are about to lose Zonda if they're not careful. If he gets this in time, they're fine. Zonda topped off in the nick of time. That's going to give Flash Wolves the mileage to close this one out. That is a great self-destruct to buy a few seconds. Does actually buy Jongi as well, but Flash Wolves should be able to come back on this one. No, they can't even follow up their own Graviton. That was too well timed out of No Talk there with that self-destruct. Bacon Jack now out of the mech, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Last fight indeed. Flash Wolves, they're really on the ropes.
Bacon Jack will die here. That's only going to have 5 members up for Flash Wolves. 25 seconds left to go.
They gotta go.
Flash Wolves have to run into the cap, and the card is so far away as well. Machi can just play aggressive, and Machi move up their positioning, maybe leave a single member behind. They are going to clean up Flash Wolves. You shouldn't be letting Flash Wolves regroup here.
They'd have to get a huge set of ultimates here. First, they got to get on the payload.
As well.
Okay, they can do a tactical nano visor combo. In fact, they're going to try to open out with that one, but they've got to get onto the payload. That's what really counts. Only 1 second left. They're near it. Yes, they're just barely on it. Realman able to get there. He's actually in behind the team, but he's already lost Jongi and K-Momo. They've only traded back onto one. They might be able to get No Talk here. Nona's not enough mileage out of his tag visor. They're trying to strike back. Bacon Jack and Zonda can maybe do this here, but Zonda with that anti-heal on from the biotic grenade is really struggling. No Talk, he's still getting a lot of mileage despite not being in the mech as DCR1 puts a hammer into Zarya's
He's got
head.
another Earth Shatter already. Wow.
Has another Earth Shatter, yeah. Bacon Jack throwing out the ultimate. I mean, it's really just going to buy seconds if anything, really. Jongi now on the point. It's just trickling on. No one from Flash Wolves is ever going to get anything good enough to really secure this one. Not a great Earth Shatter out of DCR1 though, but honestly, they had the other kills, and that was a really great hold out of Machi.
A good sort of flanking maneuver from Machi, just making sure they clean up that bell tower, Big Ben area, making sure no one's hiding there. This is a big collapse.
That's huge. They drew Flash Wolves out as Flash Wolves was trying to cut off Machi's move, but that's just left Flash Wolves completely exposed. But Machi, they're the ones losing the members here. Flash Wolves, they're able to find the picks. This is just them purely out fragging, and it's working at Charm. Now, Kant and Nones are completely isolated. Even throwing down the ultimate, that can't...
Because I feel like Machi had the much better positioning, they had the better engage angle.
It certainly
they should have won.
Certainly didn't look intentional, and a Graviton has already closed out 2 kills before the sound barrier was even committed, so already too little too late, and again, a full rout. I mean, hey, 2 ultimates, you are going to be happy with that mileage, given that they are about to have 4 coming up, and Machi still have none.
Flash Wolves are actually going to be in a great position to do a full hold. Machi, they're unlikely to win this next fight. In fact, here come the ultimates here. Transcendence being committed means Machi want to go for it, and a Dragon Blade as well.
Nonez and Zonda again, the gentleman's duel, but both actually get away with that one. But it just means neither get any mileage out of their ults. DCR1 diving, Zonda secures it. Now they actually get K-Momo. They're doing all right enough in this fight despite the early ultimate commitment, because Flash Wolves didn't really find anything at all with any of theirs. And now Machi are getting the kills to kind of back this one up, and that was just really good absorption of the ultimates out of Machi. They will be able to cap the point and get the card underway. They're still in for a chance.
Good cleanup by DCR1 as well.
Question is, by the way, did Flash Wolves squander their lead? Because you're right, they could have definitely held there. Or did Machi just play very well? I want to hear your thoughts.
This has been the question of the night, though. Like, what is it? Is it one team doing well? Is it the other team doing poorly? I want to be able to say Kiyomi's Transcendence got a lot of mileage there. Flash Wolves committing ults directly in the Transcendence. I mean, that's always going to be a really good trade here. And the forward positioning goes to Pulse Bomb as well. So
I love it.
What Machi are able to do here is completely deny any ability for Flash Wolves to set up.
Yeah.
They don't even have to push really that far. They don't have to cap at all.
And this is what Flash Wolves couldn't do to Machi last time around. Machi didn't give them the opportunity. Flash Wolves are all going to take a dive because Machi was so deep. It was
changing, but it might be a little bit too late. Look at the car positioning. We're almost there now.
Yeah. This ought to be the big commit. The Nano Boost is already out, but they're, again, just not finding much on the Joggy. That's a decent Earth Shatter, but it's getting absorbed here by the sound barrier. All they've got so far is Cannon DCR1, but Machi aren't actually getting picks back. They should be okay to back off here at the very least and live to fight another day. Unfortunately, losing No Talk's Mac. Actually, they're not even able to retreat. They're all just getting picked off as they pull back, but they're
running out, and they're not going to have a choice. This will be the fight
just got to go.
Everything.
Picking Sinkler is huge, though. Can't find against the mileage with the Pulse Bomb. Now he's in behind them, so they can't even get much follow-up on anything else they throw out.
Really good
that was
start.
not a good enough Earth Shatter. Nonez absolutely cleaning the floor with the Dragon Blade is going to be better than a good start. It's going to be all the way to a good finish. Zonda is really the only one left to contest. It's up on the high ground, but now Nonez up in his face. Should stop anything coming out of him. They're all set up on the cart. Zonda, he's already dead. He can't even drop off the high ground, and they are going to push it through to the end. Well played there by Machi, if a little dicey, but props to them after making quite a...
Kiyomi was the first one to die, and he was obviously going to be the first one to respawn, but it took so long. Kiyomi made it back, used his tactical visor. Flash Wolves should have secured the cap in that time before Kiyomi even made it.
So you know those 1v1s you hate? Well, Kiyomi just won one, so...
they're great if you can win it, but I don't like the coin flip.
Well, there's going to be the trade back now, actually, but... I mean, already I don't know if Flash Wolves even have enough left in them to kind of keep this one going. They're kind of isolated from Jongi. He's going to be forced to ult out.
I don't know about this one.
This is an interesting Deadeye because really it just means no one can
get the point. Kiyomi walked into it though.
Yeah, he didn't walk into it. He was pushed into it. That's actually
even better.
Yeah, that's a bit of a clever combo
Call that one team play.
Don't know if it was an accident or not, but let's assume it was intentional. That could be all Flash Wolves need to really establish themselves at this point. Looking a little bit more set up. That's a very interesting EMP out there. Only going to get one trade back for it, and Flash Wolves kind of sweeping up all the kills.
That's kind of like one of those, I'm likely to switch off Sombra here. I got an EMP, why not use it?
I might as well up again.
He's actually not going to stop finding President Volsky at the top level of this map as well.
Yeah, which you actually can't even get to in-game unless you ragdoll your way up there, but that's going to be a big commit out of Flash Wolves. Already good mileage to start it off. They can get no talk before the self-destruct, and that's huge for them. Actually, that could be the
That's a lot of kills.
That's how the snowball happens and came over.
And look, no EMP.
Yeah, he's still got the whole hog, and they've got a Deadeye. They can actually keep Machi off this even as the respawns come through, because Machi will come through with all six.
Zonda's looking for a position, actually.
Oh, Zonda, good set up. Quick grenade onto him to keep him alive. This is going to be the zone off with the Deadeye. Ooh, all he needed was DCR1 though. That was plenty. As K-Momo had opened up with the whole hog as well to force the rest out, and the nano boost onto Jongi means he's able to secure Kiyomi. Again, that's as good as a second entire wipe because of Zonda's positioning. He can clean up the last few kills. They've got an ultimate out of Jongi to get the last mileage here. Push Machi off this point. They should be able to set themselves up for a cap here, even without getting these last few kills, because they can just kind of bump people off the point. The respawns are staggered for Machi.
They actually are getting the ult charge back fairly quickly because Flash Wolves are picking up the majority of these kills. Now Zonda has to stay alive. It's really important.
That's really big out of DCR1 as well because he's pushed the DPS away from the point, so they can't actually back up the tanks that were set up on it. And Machi,
he might have just saved that.
Yeah, he absolutely did. They actually now get a window to defend.
DCR1 did a really fantastic job. I want to touch up on now you're starting to understand how big Zonda needs a good position for this dead. I feel like the McCree is eventually going to find not enough mileage, but for the time being,
yeah,
they're getting something done here. They need to get a lot more kills. If they can get 2 kills on a Deadeye, this would be really great.
Good heavens, would you look at the time? Ooh, don't poke your head out. Yeah, nearly. That was actually a clever bait out of Realman. Sorry, not out of Realman, out of Kiyomi. And who's going to open up with a tactical visor that gets nothing, especially compared to Realman's one. Can't though with the respawn because he went down right at the top.
He will die here.
He will die, but he actually bought a good couple of seconds. Can Machi keep contesting this? I'm not sure. They're going to commit a sound barrier, and actually they can, because once again, the tanks are forced off the point. Flash Wolves, they can't close it out as close as it is to the cap, even as Zonda picks no.
That's enough kills as the defenders to be able to win. Flash Wolves need a lot here. They need so much.
A lot. There's going to be the EMP out already as Can gets picked off. They've actually, they've survived through it. They've lost 3. They survived through the EMP crucially, and they're trying to commit things to the fight now, Machi, but they're just kind of getting themselves like no talk, good trade back to get 2. That was actually a couple of ultimate holders, but yeah, he's going to be dead. They're actually going to get the cap. Oh my goodness gracious me.
That went completely the opposite of what on paper should have happened. Now, I think
it's actually still not gone either way. That was just one trade back and forth, and Machi kind of keeping the ball going on the point. Yeah, EMP is up, but Jongi is down, and Zonda, he's in danger of getting routed here as he's down out for the count. That's a running
that's a lot of kills.
Yeah, that's really bad news for Flash Wolves. Doesn't matter if that EMP is there, if the team isn't. And this is going to be a pretty quick cap for Machi by the looks of it, unless something crazy happens.
Bacon Jack is spending a long time chasing down Kant, and look, while he's getting the kills on Kant, the rest of his team is completely fallen over. I've really got to credit DCR1 because he's done a great job of chasing down all of these kills himself. He's managed to, he's almost like playing Genji, but without the resets. He doesn't even need the reset because on a 5 or 6 second leap, he's able to just, Machi are set to take, I would believe, at least 2 out of 3 for Milestone here.
Yeah, and already kind of off to a good start with picking Sinkler. Now Bacon Jack as well. My goodness, they're just opening it all up. They got the momentum on their side. Ultimate out of Jongi, but if they can secure the rest of the team, it's not really going to matter because this is just going to mean staggered respawns. Sinkler will be able to come in with attack visor though, see what mileage he can get out of it, because Machi are starting to run thin on ultimates. He's not really getting much for it though. I mean, Notom's just kind of keeping in his pace. They're kind of getting some trades back, but DCR1 is doing the work as it is, still holding on to an ultimate. That is a very late sound barrier out of Flash Wolves here, and the kills are continuing to go Machi way. That's a good EMP out of Bacon Jack though, crucially because it stops off No Talk, who is the only one keeping Sinkler at bay. Sinkler has finally gone down again now, but that's all that Flash Wolves needed to kind of push Machi off this point.
I gotta really question No Talk not using the self-destruct there. I feel like he had plenty of moment to actually use the self-destruct. He made the decision to actually chase down Sinkler.
This is, I mean, Machi...
You're gonna self-destruct.
Yeah, I'm blowing up right here. Speaking of blowing up, there we go. That's the pick they need onto Sinkler again, going down at the top of this fight. Again, though, he will be able to respawn, but this time around, let's see if Machi can get either a little bit more, where the Flash Wolves are the ones to get more, as they already get the trade back. Good drilling down onto K-Momo, just focus fire onto him to take him out, but the trades are actually coming back for Flash Wolves to the point where Machi probably can't keep this one going. I mean, the respawns are going to come in, but the walk is much longer for them than it is for Flash Wolves. So this should slowly start to swing Flash Wolves' way naturally as the defender's advantage kicks in.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only with that, but having initial kill on Sinkler, how do these soldiers keep dying
I think
this?
that was environmental again, so I think, I don't know.
Or a suicide.
Kind of took a dive, yeah.
Or a Helix rocket suicide.
Was sick of it. But in any case, Bacon Jack going down as well. After that EMP means he's kind of not got enough mileage, and Jongi is just trying to route the rest here, doing what he can to keep this one live, but he's kind of separated here. Just kind of flicking back and forth between this point and safety, just to try and keep it alive. Yeah, the Nonez open on up. Only getting the one for now. And the respawn's coming through into the tac visor that has run out now, so they've been able to kind of outlast it. Placement of the self-destruct there, kind of getting counted out by the Maywall, and Zonda starting to do the damage now, starting to keep this one alive for his team. Flash Wolves, they've still got plenty in the tank, but there's a big set of kills by Machi, just kind of out of nowhere. Nonez finally finding the position.
I like this contesting with the invisibility. You can't even counter that.
Clever. They are going to start getting the cap through. Now Machi, oh my goodness, doesn't even re-go back to contest the point, and Machi actually got it with more time in the time bank. That kind of came out of nowhere.
That can be.
It's going to be big, and again, Nones needs to make a point to not get caught.
Oh, DCL1 misses.
Yeah, falling a little bit short, but they're just going to... Oh, no!
See ya.
Nones trying to open up with this as Flash Wolves have just kind of scattered off, and now
Straight
they're throwing
into
K-Momo in his face. He is going to be able to close it off on K-Momo, though. That could be just enough they need, but Zonda does have attack visor he can commit if he wants, and Nones, he's not able to set himself up here. Yeah, he absolutely should, because if they secure this one, then it's just one and done, and they need to do it before Machi's respawns come in. Just commit to it. There we go. Zonda opening out with it, but with the grenade on the biotic grenade and then the Diva block up, he didn't really get much for it. Now they're committing to this point here. Machi, having just barely got the respawns in, can't make it down, but the sound barrier keeps the rest of the team alive as they get the members down. And Flash Wolves, they just kind of stepped off it for a moment, forgot that all they had to do was contest. That was... Just pull over to the side of the road and let it pass. But in any case, big dive here, getting onto this Mercy. Nice pick onto Realman. Big opener here, and that kind of takes the floor out from underneath Flash Wolves with any potential for a defense. They're not going to be able to get the ultimate up in time at all. And now the rest of the kills coming through. This is actually really good commitment by Machi and just very clean execution.
Super scrappy from kind of both teams here, but I think Machi, they do come out on top of that one.
When we're watching the same fight, I mean, Scrappy and that Flash Wolves are still trying, and they're trying their darndest, but Machi executed that well. Now it's looking Scrappy as Flash Wolves try and swing back, but Machi are the ones set up here. If Kiema gets off a good attack visor, he should be well fine here. But not quite going to happen as Bacon Jack sends him packing for a moment. That could
good
end
spot
up
for Machi,
but Realman, nice catch onto Realman. DCR1 playing Hunter Killer Missile. They're taking him out and actually getting the second healer as well, even after actually the nano boost went off, and it's not going to get any mileage for that. So Machi, they should be able to set themselves up well to close out this fight if they can get a couple more kills. Realman, I don't think he'll be able to get back in time for a crazy res, and they should be able to get a cap here.
Now look at this. Kiyomi's been uncontested for the majority of the defense now.
Realman! Swooping in to save the day. Does bring the team back. They don't really have any ultimates to go off though, so it looked very cool, but No Talk is getting a double kill of all people, which should tell you exactly how this fight is going. Jongi, nice catch, but he's going to go down as he leaves his back exposed. And Flash Wolves, they're just kind of giving up ult charge at this point.
And that is why I didn't get excited about the res, because
I did. It was cool. It was all shiny.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, but ultimately...
Get it, ultimately.
It didn't give the kind of mileage that Flash was looking for. Like I said, 2 post-fight, there's not enough immediate impact. Play the game. Yeah, here comes the Dragon. Here comes Dragon Blade, and there goes the Dragon Blade extremely
and
quickly.
There it went. Kiyomi, he can't even close it, and he kills with his tack visor. And Realman is about to get another res. Gee Willikers, there it goes again as Singler commits the nano boost onto the Winston.
Still winnable by Flash Wolves.
Still very winnable by Flash Wolves indeed. K-Momo could commit the ultimate to buy time, but he's not going to. Machi are actually short a couple of members.
Zonda?
I feel like K-Momo could have done that if he committed the ultimate. And Flash Wolves now a little bit more on the back foot. Zonda still an ultimate to commit if they want to try and secure this one right here, right now.
This is a classic case of Machi getting a little bit too eager. They're fully committing to all of these fights. Like, yeah, get super excited. We're really close to capping. Now you got 6 seconds left to go. 0 ultimates. Still playing into attack visor. Zonda's in a great spot. Pretty soon, yep, down goes DCR1.
There we go, and the res will be coming up during this fight by Realman if it goes on long enough, but it might not even need it as the kills are secured in, and the Zenyatta is going to slowly float its way over to the cart, hoping to touch it. Payload, but it's going to move like a stone as Flash Wolves find themselves a hold.
Flash Wolves, I think they eventually totally went from thanks for the free ult charge to wow, how are we going to kill everybody?
Ooh, dear, K-Momo, he's going to be able to get back from this one. And this is a very deep setup from Machi. They're just going to lose members here.
This is the blank defense where you lose a lot of members at the start by doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, this is how they lost to Hong Kong Attitude.
See, and I'm going to say the exact same thing I said in that match, which is if Flash Wolves got super aggressive now, kept one player on the cart, and denied all defensive precision out at Machi.
Yeah, and Machi, they're milking it now for all it's worth. They've taken that opportunity to get a defense in, and they've kind of run with it now. I mean, Sinclair, even with this nano boost, is kind of having to back off because he's so low on health. Zonda getting picked.
Cart's got good movement. Look at the cart.
Yeah. Machi have actually got the picks. They've got the advantage, but they're not committing. They're not stopping it. Oh, dear.
Wow. Wow. Machi, are you kidding me?
They just watched it. So the top of these fights, known as opening up with his ultimate here. Bacon Jack finally throwing one out, but they're on the verge of losing Singler. That's a good hook by K-Momo, and that should be all they need. Yeah, they didn't quite close out the kills on anyone. Look at how much health Singler has. It's barely anything. They couldn't get Bacon Jack, couldn't get Singler, couldn't get Zonda, and it was all ultimates committed for Flash Wolves, but it is going to amount to a cap unless, again, something crazy happens by Machi. But you know what? I'm not gonna count them out. I mean, this has been a bizarre game as it is. Let's see what happens. Flash Wolves, there we go, getting the picks. No talk, one-man carry. Here we go. No, not quite going to happen as he gets picked off as well. This should be Flash Wolves. It is indeed Flash Wolves putting it through, which proves that Flash Wolves do win in warmer climates. The turret going down. I mean, the bronze teammate is just such dead weight right now. But the trade back is actually there. I mean, again, this is kind of Machi struggling, but it's a little bit scrappier this time around. I think if Restia can get a res up in time, they might be able to make something happen here. In fact, they're making it happen despite not having the res as Zonda picks out Restia. So, I mean, Machi, they look kind of poised to secure this, even as they're trying to close off these last few kills, but they do kind of need to do it quickly because Flash Wolves do have an opportunity to swing back. I don't think they should, but heck, they're going to go for it anyway. So let's see how Machi actually hold this one out.
They need Kant alive here.
Yeah,
Kant
already a deep dive with the nano boost on.
Yeah,
again, they've lost Kiyomi. Restia is again spawn.
And for Machi, they need to be securing a lot more because they need a lot more momentum.
No talk going down as he commits his ultimate. So even if he
good
gets
pressure on the
Bacon
Jack.
Even if he gets something with it, he won't be able to really keep affecting the fight after the fact. And yeah, Kant just getting out Bacon Jack from that one. Oh, right in the room, sure thing. And he gets Realman for it. So Machi well set up in this one. Only losing Kiyomi is a very late ultimate to come out of Jongi here. But DCR1 committing his own should be able to keep the point on lockdown as Zonda. He's having to retreat, and he's not even exactly retreating towards his own base, so bit of an unfortunate spot for him as he's now trying to regroup with his team. And
1 HP?
Oh. Yeah, 1 HP indeed. Not quite going to happen, but Machi, yeah, well enough set up here. Surely that they can just catch this one through, and already Flash Wolves swapping off freaking Realman onto that Mercy for what I imagine to be a later defense.
Flash Wolves aren't giving this one up just yet. In fact, they're still going to get it there.
Should.
Yeah, that's which we talked about there earlier as well. Flash Wolves are always in a position.
And Machi now only have this one fight left.
And the problem for Machi is even if they commit ultimates, yeah, Realman does have a res to immediately get his team back up. Expect Zonda to pull the Dragon Blade out as well. Machi, they had a room to do it. They only committed one ultimate.
All right, here we go. Zonda going to commit out his Dragon Blade already, having picked one off, and they're not getting anything out of this one. Machi, they got nothing to go on at all. Can't get one onto Realman. Oh, getting actually, Realman might just be all they need if Nonez gets a big Dragon Blade, but he's just not. He's not finding enough with it. The self-destruct is really all they can commit now, but he's going to have to commit it. There it goes at long last. Whew, had me sweating for a second, but he doesn't really get anything anyway as Zonda actually closes off on the Diva, and there's no one really here to contest the cart. They're just kind of trickling in. The overtime is going to disappear quick, smart, and Flash Wolves have done a good job so far of minimizing how much Overwatch they're going to have to play. Getting it onto the turret, and they've still got the Rocket Barrage held onto as well, but they're all kind of funneling into this room. They have actually picked Cat, is paying off, and a lot of these Flash Wolves members, they're a little bit low, but they're not quite going down. Zonda, oh, that's a big one here for Machi. If they can just close it a few more. They've got a nano boost to commit here. They're going to go ahead and put that on DCR1, who's going to make mileage out of it as he picks off Bacon Jack. Now just trying to secure the last few. That's a big one. A good round of kills there. And they look set to actually close this one out. And K-Momo with the self-destruct may just find something cheesy at the end, but it's not going to be anything big. And my goodness, Flash Wolves minimizing how much Overwatch they're going to have to play by straight up losing to Machi here.
Oh, well, on one hand, I'm kind of sad for Flash Wolves, but look at the excitement from Machi.
Yeah, it's huge
We kind of
for
said
them.
it, but if we manage to